Ashtavakra, a sage, was born with physical deformities due to a curse of his father. At the age of around 12, he challenged scholars and kings with his deep insights, ultimately guiding King Janak to spiritual enlightenment. Each of his dialogue will solve the mysteries of your births and births as if they never existed. Before getting into the question of how to attain liberation even after going for money or worldly activities, which will be in the chapter 2 in this video, firstly you have to know chapter 1, Ashtavakra, enlightening the king, which is as follows. King Janak asked Ashtavakra, "Lord, please satisfy my curiosity as to how one can attain knowledge. What is the solution to salvation? How is renunciation achieved?" Ashtavakra said, "The meaning of knowledge, liberation and renunciation is not what it sounds like. Their meaning is multifaceted and vivid. The sources of knowledge are infinite and limitless. Liberation does not mean freedom or aversion to duty. Renunciation also does not mean worklessness or escape from worldly bonds. For knowledge, liberation or renunciation, it is not necessary to give up worldly activities and go to the forest region, but to give up greed, attachment and illusion while performing daily duties. This is the gist of real life. The desire for liberation can be fulfilled only when you abandon sensual desires like poison and drink forgiveness, generosity, mercy, contentment and truth like nectar. It is not the body, but the soul that is important. Man is always conscious of his body, adorns it, enhances his appearance and complexion, flaunts it with ego and arrogance. He's never free from the pride of I am mine, whereas one day neither I nor mine remains. So what is the benefit of being hypnotized by such a body? Hypnosis must happen from the soul. Separate yourself from the body, only then will the mind rest. The person who accepts this into his heart will immediately become happy, peaceful and free from bondage. There is no doubt about his salvation. Righteousness and unrighteousness and happiness and sorrow are the products of the mind. You are neither a doer nor an enjoyer. You are always free. You are the Supreme Soul. And the soul is neither a doer nor an enjoyer. It is always free. When you to become free from the feeling of the body and consider yourself as a soul, then you will become completely free. Man thinks that the existence of the body is different from the existence of soul and God. I am not the seer. The seer is someone else, whereas Ashtavakra said that man is the seer, is the soul, is God, and is the form of the Absolute. One who becomes aware of this truth becomes free. On the contrary, the person who does not consider himself to be the embodiment of God, and considers others as observers, gets trapped in worldly bonds. Man trapped in worldly bonds can never become familiar with this truth, that he is the seer of everything, he is the soul and God. He thinks that God is the observer of everything, and his life revolves according to his wishes. He is always afraid of punishment, spending entire life worrying about heaven and hell, and does not remain in the company of meaningful values of life even for a moment. Whereas Ashtavakra clearly states that man is the seer, he is the soul and God. He is the controller and limitless, he is the vast and eternal. No external power or God operates it as per his wish. When he believes in the soul and God within himself, he will become fearless. He will not be worried about any external power or God's punishment. The soul is truly free from fear and anxiety. This means that the reality of man is not in the body, but in the soul. The soul is the seer of all, that is, the human is the seer of all and is free. Yes, on the contrary, if man considers himself a body, then he will become inferior, and will always remain trapped in bondages. I am pure awareness is such a fire of determination, in which you burn away the deep ignorance and remain free from sorrow and happiness. As long as there is ignorance, man can never escape from the whirlpool of confusion. It is due to ignorance that man becomes arrogant, gets overwhelmed by false happiness and sorrow, gets attracted towards materialism, and wanders in the dark, cave of desires. In the end, when he approaches death, he finds that he has not achieved anything. His closed fists are as empty as they were on the occasion of birth. Such an ignorant person is born again and again, and dies again and again. All the doors of his salvation are closed. At each birth his desires frustrate his knowledge. At each death his empty fists mock his ignorance. This soul is within you. You are the soul. Do not wait for its arrival. It has already come. Just believe it within yourself. This is possible only when you become selfless, give up illusions and become virtuous from inside and out. Thereafter, when you become firm, unwavering, and contemplate on the Absolute, then your eyes of knowledge will open, and you will know your true self in the real brightness that emerges from them. This knowledge is your salvation. You are selfless, inactive, self-light and innocent. To attain these you perform the ritual of samadhi, that is, deep concentration towards the eternal. That is your bondage. This deep meditating state brings neither welfare or harm to the soul. If a human being attains self-knowledge, then the ritual of this state becomes useless for him. The soul is absolute, that is, it neither has aspiration nor desires. It has no color, shape or size. It is formless and radiated. No fear troubles it. It always remains cool and calm, since humans are also a form of soul, hence this quality is present in him too. But the difficulty that man is constantly engaged in the fulfillment of infinite desires. When one of his desires is fulfilled, a new desire arises. Desires make him a beggar, force him to take help from others. He becomes dependent on other people. If he realizes that he is the embodiment of the soul, he will also become self-reliant and will not need anyone's help. He will also become absolute. He will also have no expectations of any desire. You have come to me in search of knowledge and the path to liberation and renunciation. Then know for sure that you are not a group of desires. You are the Absolute. If you want to attain liberation, then become the form of Absolute. The Absolute is present everywhere. Just as the omnipresent sky is present inside and outside the ocean, similarly Absolute is present inside and outside you. Do not consider Absolute as separate from yourself. Become the form of Absolute. This is your path. Chapter 2. When the king becomes enlightened, Ashtavakra had some doubts. Therefore, Ashtavakra was curious to know whether the king had actually become enlightened, or whether this was his temporary state. Ashtavakra says to probe the heart of the king, the soul is indestructible, the soul is one. You have become familiar with this principle. You say that your body made of 5 elements has no importance. It is actually the conscious form of the soul. You have accepted yourself as a soul. You have believed in God within yourself. Then why does an enlightened and patient person you have the desire to earn money? You cannot deny the fact that every living being is greedy for money. Therefore, he is constantly engrossed in deceit and sensual desires. It is greed for money that deprives him of self-knowledge. He can never be free from the vices of pride, greed, attachment and illusion. You are a king. Till some time ago you were proud of your royal power. How can I accept that you are no longer arrogant and have become humble? Are you still suffering from the tendency to accumulate wealth? Are you still not interested in earning money? I have never seen anyone suddenly becoming enlightened like you. How can I believe that you will not indulge in pleasures again as soon as you return to the palace? That's why I ask, why did your earning tendencies not end despite being self-aware? He further said to the king, a real knowledgeable person is patient and serious. He performs worldly tasks, but does not indulge in them. There are captivating scenes all around him. He sees them, but is free from their attraction. He suffers, but does not experience any happiness or joy from it. He sometimes suffers, but neither gets upset nor angry or upset due to pain. It is not easy to be neutral from happiness or anger. Only the one who attains self-knowledge and becomes patient and serious can become free from human weaknesses. He desires neither fame nor wealth. He becomes self-absorbed. Wherever his eyes look, there only he sees the soul. This is the reason that despite suffering and suffering, the only soul is always visible to him, and he is neither happy nor angry. Realizing the soul does not mean that you turn away from worldly duties and become inactive. While living in this world, it is not possible to be free from the necessity of performing worldly duties, but craving for worldly pleasures is not a part of worldly duties. Hence it is necessary to maintain distance from them. The enlightened one does the same. His body is active, but not desirous. He sees his functioning body as similar to the bodies of others, not different. Neither the soul is disintegrated, nor the living being emanating from the soul is disintegrated. The enlightened one does not see the universe in fragments, but sees it in the integral form of one absolute. Therefore, he does not see any difference between his own body and that of others. O King, the reality is that only such a person rises from meanness and reaches greatness. He is not perturbed by praise or criticism. He is firm and unwavering in both situations. In front of a knowledgeable person, praise and criticism are ineffective, useless and meaningless. He remains calm even after hearing praise or criticism. His body language does not show any kind of reaction. He is neither happy nor angry. O King, have you really become soulful? Don't you feel joy and sadness on hearing praise and criticism? You are still surrounded by people who constantly praise and cheer you. Such people seem dear to you and your own. You happily give them gifts and financial benefits, and you get angry with those who criticize you and punish them. How can you quickly change your behavior after listening to my sermons? Right now you are under the influence of my sermons. Only after introspection can you realize whether you consider your active body like someone else's body. Are you able to remain calm and are unperturbed after hearing praise and criticism? You have come to me with the desire to attain salvation. The longing to get it means that your desires have not been fulfilled yet. The common man is a slave of desires. His every step arises from the desire to achieve something. The source of inspiration for his every action is some desire or the other. The enlightened one does not even desire salvation. The enlightened one becomes self-absorbed. He has no consciousness. How can one who has no senses experience desires? He himself is in the state of salvation. Why would he be interested in salvation? The common man is an embodiment of misconceptions. He sees objects and scenes as they appear. He finds something worth accepting and something worth discarding. He is unable to imagine that all this is false and imaginary. Scenes exist only because of dualism. Their existence is an illusion of the eyes of the common man. In fact, this entire world is false, unreal. When an enlightened person experiences this, all his misconceptions and problems are resolved, and he becomes conflict-free and free from doubt. In the next video, in Chapter 3, we will see how the king replied to Ashtavakra's doubt, as King Janak undoubtedly has a strong feeling of his being a soul, hence how he answers the doubts of Ashtavakra.